Hey YouTube, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be speaking about what it's like to have your Venus conjunct your partner's Neptune in SYNASTRY. When it comes to having this aspect with someone, it is a pretty fascinating aspect to share with someone. It can be very romantic as well. In fact, it can even feel like stepping into a romantic movie with somebody, because when it comes to having your Neptune conjuncting somebody's Venus, there's this feeling of having met someone who is the ideal partner, especially for the Venus person who is viewing the Neptune person like this. When it comes to the way that the Venus person and the Neptune person are viewing each other, it's a feeling of meeting somebody who matches the partner they have in their daydream. So when it comes to having this aspect, it brings in that element of a romantic and even magnetic connection between two people, where it feels like there's love in the air. And between the Neptune person and the Venus person, it's a very beautiful kind of energy. And it really inspires that romantic and beautiful energy. And with all of that in mind, it is also likely that both the Neptune person and the Venus person are going to experience feelings of getting swept up in this connection with each other. And for the Venus person and the Neptune person, they can also idealize each other because of this energy that the aspect is bringing into their relationship. They can get swept up in that idealized vision of each other very easily. And one way to put it when it comes to the phases of having this aspect in a connection is that they start out going through this idealization phase when it comes to the way they are perceiving each other and they are perceiving their connection with each other. Then they go through what feels like a phase where they go through what feels like the realness stage, where there's like, it can feel like a challenge, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just a phase of realizing and seeing things for what they really are. So not bad, but just real. And then they can go through this disillusionment with this aspect, which depending on the two individuals, it can lead to what feels like this fade away. But it can also lead to this phase where they have the opportunity to be able to work through things from a more grounded perspective, taking into account the more realness between the two of them, and basically being able to balance idealism and reality in the relationship with each other, and then getting to a place where they have this heartfelt, genuine connection that this aspect can bring into a relationship between two people. So when it comes to having your Venus conjuncting your partner's Neptune, in this relationship between the Neptune person and the Venus person is especially drawn to the Neptune person, seeing them as the ideal partner, even what can be felt by them as being the perfect partner. It's like they're seeing the Neptune person through rose-colored glasses in this connection, but there is this really strong and deep magnetic attraction between each other when it comes to the Neptune person and when it comes to the Venus person. But when it comes to the Venus person, they may feel that the Neptune person is almost unreal when it comes to the way in which they are matching exactly what they are looking for as far as an ideal partner. And they can really idealize the Neptune person and hold a lot of feelings of idealizing the Neptune person initially. And with this aspect, there is a level of intensity when it comes to how drawn they are to each other. And when it comes to the Venus person, and what's really drawing them to the Neptune person is that mysterious energy behind the Neptune person, and even the Neptune person's compassionate side and spiritual energy. And they're especially seeing the Neptune person as someone who embodies the ideal partner, and they're seeing them as this perfect partner. And for the Neptune person, when it comes to how they feel about the Venus person, they feel this pressure to live up to that ideal partner that the Venus person has in mind. And they also actually enjoy the admiration from the Venus person. And for them both, they feel like they have met and found a love that's truly out of the ordinary. There's something very enchanting about this connection and the way it's making them both feel about each other. And with this aspect, it really brings in this intense level of adoration that they have towards each other. But the thing is that over time, as things progress in this connection, it becomes it starts to become what feels like a lot to live up to, especially for the Neptune person with the Venus person. Because for the Neptune person, they may feel and even worry about being able to fully be what the Venus person envisions of them. And when it comes to having this aspect, they especially can feel quite let down when it comes to reality not matching the ideal that they have at first, when they are initially really moved by each other, because there is an intense feeling of being quite moved by each other in this connection for the Neptune person and the Venus person. But over time, there is a risk of them both feeling quite let down when reality doesn't match the ideal vision that they have of each other. Because when it comes to having this aspect, it really does make it so that they feel very captivated. It is a very captivating aspect to share with someone in synastry. But it especially does need a touch of groundedness to keep the relationship strong. In this relationship with this aspect, the Venus person can see the Neptune person as almost perfect. And for the Neptune person, even though that can be very flattering, can also feel a bit overwhelming. And for the Neptune person, they may be thinking and even feeling that they don't know if they can be all of that for the Venus person. So it's like there is a misty energy in this relationship, and it reaches a point where that clears, and then they're left with reality. And when it comes to that phase, it's a phase of seeing things for what they are. And it's not necessarily bad, it's just real. But for the Neptune person, they may realize that the Venus person may not be seeing them for who they really are. And when it comes to the Venus person, at this point, it can feel like reality is clashing with what they had in mind or their idealized version of things. And for the Venus person, this can be disappointing. It can even be a bit confusing when it comes to this point of being able to really have reality kind of sink in when it comes to reaching this point in the relationship. And this is where the challenge can come in when it comes to this aspect, because the Neptune person may feel unaccepted, and they can also even subtly retreat from this relationship with the Venus person because of that feeling of not being accepted for who they truly are, which may or may not lead to a fade away in this relationship for the both of them, and things start to feel less clear and even less grounded, especially if both of the partners can't let go of their expectations. And when it comes to having this conjunction between Neptune and Venus, it does start out with a very strong and intense kind of adoration that they have towards each other, and it can feel like magic when it comes to their connection. And over time, what it teaches both of the partners is that they learn that the real magic of that magic feeling that they feel comes in being able to really embrace their whole selves, imperfections and all. And when it comes to having this synastry between two people, it really does encourage this sense of a bond that is rooted in unconditional love, acceptance, and even empathy for each other. But when it comes to making this synastry work between two people in the long term, it is especially helpful if they're both connecting from an honest and authentic space from the beginning and are being very grounded in the presentation of themselves from the beginning. Because with honesty, with clarity, that really can help ground this relationship beyond just the point of this aspect, really making the relationship feel like a fairy tale romance for both of the partners, which is what this aspect can really make a relationship feel like. And when it comes to this aspect, it is a pretty powerful aspect, especially for things like being able to have a almost magical sense of love and idealization. It can really heighten the compassion between two people, the creativity, and the romance to the point of feeling like fairy tale romance. Well, that does it for this video on having your Neptune conjuncting your partner's Venus in synastry. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful and that you enjoyed the video. And if you did, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos. Well, that is where I love and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys.